the war drums down, we head to Wasteland Night. Both teams looking for match advantage and to put the other team on match point. Garrett keeps down low to the ground. Justin up next. And NRG start off on offense, but good defense. High challenge again forces Garrett up onto a quick save. Reddles just pops that ball away. Justin already downfield, will be taken away by Sipical. Sipical very solid to keep that ball out, as NRG a couple of times now in this opening drive, as Justin takes another pass. Garrett, is he the next up? Yes, he got to the challenge, but Space Station defense holds on. In fact, they might catch NRG back a little bit, but Justin buys time and gets the ball back to Squishy, who has to make another challenge. Typical drops in front of it. Garrett barely gets the touch, and Justin takes it away. I don't know how Garrett got that save.
And this space, a huge bump from Arsenal. Squishy didn't see him coming. And Arsenal, with the physical play, ends this drought for Space Station.
He bores a hole through Squishy's car and absolutely obliterates the goal line. That is marquee Space Station right there. NRG left asking how to score, because the post certainly doesn't want to let him.
Arsenal, we've seen him be physical so much in the past, and he almost got the demo that opened up last game for him. So Space Station, they start to stabilize. You can tell, though, they're still reeling a bit as they've been caught back. Even the play before that, the ball was bouncing right out in front of net, and no one from Space Station was there. So you can tell they're playing a bit more hesitant than they were when they first started.
Yeah, NRG getting close to connecting on some of those long passes, too, where, you know, the longer a pass travels, the higher the risk becomes over time. You want to keep those passes at a reasonable distance, and if Space Station are still giving NRG tons of space, those challenges are not going to afford SSG any kind of comfortability on defense, though they do get the next save. And Sipical pulls out, and Justin and Sipical were both trying to fake each other out on that challenge, and it ended up just turning into a regular challenge. Now SSG tried a quick move on Squishy, and it's bumped right back into Garrett, who wants Squishy downfield, but Sipical gets up quickly. The aerial battle in midfield, absolutely ridiculous. Ace combat back around. Garrett picks it back up to the corner.
Those were back-to-back 50s from Garrett that were spectacular. Now another challenge. Garrett has been very good getting those 50 wins that set his team up for a scoring opportunity. We even saw that bump play that he had in overtime to get the goal and the win for NRG, and that really was such a huge moment in this series. To think if NRG lost that game, we might have even seen a 4-0, but that battle back in game 3, due to Garrett and his savviness when he's so close in those small ball situations, that has allowed NRG to excel later in the series.
The third men of both teams, they've been put in really tough spots to buy time for their team, and they've been able to do it. Not only that, but also get the ball back to the first returning player on the rotation back, and finding that pass out and not really just giving the ball back and forcing your team into a dangerous rhythm on defense. Garrett especially, you talked about his 50s in front as first man, but also on the backside as third man. Garrett has bailed NRG out of a lot of tough situations, and they've had a couple nice carries here, but can't really find a lot of pressure in front of Space Station's box. Midfield has been contested. I can't really say that it's been one team or the others in this game, but this means everything for NRG. They have to find a way out and a way to get some consistent offense going in this final minute.
That's a good teamwork clear there by NRG. Quick 1-2-3 to get it out, but they're using up a lot of boost. It's a panicky situation.
Hop right by Squishy, but Justin picked up the last save. Garrett the whole way back, sitting under half boost. Or not Garrett, excuse me, Squishy, and now he's going to come up and make the next challenge happen. I mean, Space Station are fine to play this game if all they have to do is make 50-50s in midfield and even get a few shots on net. Well, they're happy to waste time with a 1-goal lead. Attempted carry, failed. Boomer, well, that'll succeed momentarily, but it all hinges on this next challenge from Squishy. he does get around it, and it might give Garrett a chance. He kicks it hard to the side. Garrett double tap to Justin. Justin over one. Squishy's up for this, but he has to stretch, and he's got to go to the corner instead to get back to it. No boost. Hits it as hard as he can to Garrett. Makes the 50 happen. Justin's quick to the ball, but Space Station meet every single punch. And here comes another one. Space Station having to stop the tsunami that is NRG's offense as time expires. Squishy can't get to the challenge. Typical gets behind it. Justin can only kill it, and Space Station one away from being your major champions.
Wow, another 1-0 game. We've seen 3 games in a row now where it was just a single goal scored throughout the entirety of the game, and it has been down to the defenses. We've seen it, Jorby. Neither team wanting to give up any of that position. Their challenges are there. The passing we're seeing come through, even for both teams. I would say NRG, though, a little bit better at finding those infield passing lanes, but they keep getting clogged by Space Station. These teams are really giving it their all.
I mean, like, when Space Station, they just have had the boost at every step to deal with anything that NRG have tried to throw at them. And the mind games aren't really working for NRG anymore. Space Station are consistently a step ahead of them, even when you think that it's okay. Space Station or NRG finally connect on a few passes. It's like, oh, they look pretty dangerous in front of the box, but Space Station were always in position, and you only caught them panicking on that one push that we saw from NRG at about like the 2-minute mark, I think, James, where they had a couple double commits, but the clears were good enough to get them out. Other than that, I think clogged is a perfect way to explain NRG's offense right now.
And then also just the speed. It's the speed from both ends has made it really challenging for either one of them to really get a quality shot on net. Every time that shot comes out, someone is there. You might have a little bit of space to pass. We've seen Space Station give up a bit more space than they were in the earlier games, but still they're finding ways to get that little chip, slow it down, and get it past the NRG offense for a few tries of their own. But this one really has been so close, Jordan.
It is game number 6. Typical almost put the first one in for Space Station. It's crunch time for NRG. This one's just for game 7. Justin got in front of the next ball. Squishy will give NRG some time. And Space Station got a whole pitch to work with. They wanted a deep pass, but Justin was right there.
Yeah, that was a bit too telegraphed. Justin was waiting there. She saw that coming by a mile. Arsenal didn't have a ton of boost, so couldn't get to it quickly. And now NRG capitalizing off of that jump by Justin to break up the play.
Squishy pops that out to Garrett nicely, who also goes high with the ball. Squishy grabbed the boost and took the shot, but it saves. You saw Reynolds getting harassed behind by Garrett and didn't get demoed. Now Typical carrying it on the air dribble, blocked by Justin, and Space Station are sitting the whole way back at the midfield line. Arsenal by 1, and he demos the guy through on the carry. Reynolds on the challenge. It could be Arsenal's, but Justin, he gets demoed by Arsenal. And NRG, they got to be frustrated.
Yeah, both of those demos, Arsenal on Justin. So that has to be a bit frustrating, like you were saying. You just get back into the play, same guy gets you again.
But he's downfield for this play. Got it off the ceiling, has the boost, back out to the side. Can't make it happen. And now a slowdown by Reynolds, trying to get the ball by Garrett. Justin gets a good touch, but Arsenal was right there waiting. Space Station swarming midfield. Even in that low boost situation, Squishy takes it right back, trying to kick down the hive.
I like that idea, though, from Squishy. He took his time there, went for the dribble, was hoping he might be able to make something happen all on his own.
Oh, Reynolds perfectly touched, perfectly scored, wonderfully done.
Squishy was in net, he had 100 boost, and he didn't make the best read on that ball. Reynolds had it off the backboard. Squishy needed to get behind it. I don't know what he was thinking in that situation. That was a tough ball for him. And now Space Station, when they only need one more game to claim the title, get a massive goal at the hands of Reynolds.
And they held on to a 1-goal lead for a long time last game. So Squishy, he hopes Garrett can do a lot with this and no boost. All he can do is roll it back around. And NRG, even their positioning, like Squishy has to use a lot of boost there to retreat. And both Justin and Squishy were sitting up above midfield when there was no guarantee with Garrett on low boost that he was going to get a pass out on that challenge with how fast he was traveling. But Garrett leaves that for Justin off the ceiling, and he's going into full retreat as Squishy has to take the boomer. Arsenal, who is having an MVP performance in this grand final, takes another one downfield again and gets a bump on the backside. You look up value in the dictionary and Arsenal's picture will show up next to it, because that's what happens every time he gets behind the ball. Even after he leaves the ball, Arsenal is finding ways to disrupt, harass, and smother NRG on both sides of the pitch. Here's another one downfield. Space Station still continue to pummel this NRG team. NRG struggling to win a 50.
Yeah, Space Station, they see the finish line. They've got the lead. We've seen 3 1-0 games in a row. We might see another one here, and it might be the game that clinches the title for Space Station.
Justin gets behind one, but Arsenal gets behind it on a little wave dash. Stops for Sipical. And NRG in full retreat again. Garrett stopping a quick counterattack from Space Station. Sipical gets demoed here by Squishy, but Justin still doesn't have any space to do anything. Garrett gets a demo far downfield. That pass back to Garrett. That long redirect won't go anywhere. Squishy harassing Sipical. Now Justin wants this, but he can't get back to the ball. Space Station are all over it. Arsenal, he's got the backboard covered. Garrett G, it's way over his head. Squishy tries to get this ball up, but he's got no boost. Good luck winning that challenge. Forces Justin back over to the corner. More time wasted off the clock. Sipical looking for insurance. He got it! Space Station gaming up by 2!
Justin was racing back for this. He lost possession. Sipical takes it over. Justin cleared it right back into him. That hit was disastrous for Justin, but Sipical had every angle covered. And now we're approaching the final 30 seconds. Space Station up by 2, and each goal has been so difficult to come by. This is going to be tough for NRG.
Ball bouncing down in front. Garrett has been in a forced supersonic retreat all match long, and it isn't getting any slower. Garrett, another challenge. This is it. NRG's last chance. He goes for a quick one to Squishy. Back over to Garrett. Justin already jumped in the air and he missed the ball. He missed it. Time is expiring. There's no goals for NRG on the board. Space Station have done it. They are your North American Fall Major Champions.
Space Station Gaming, they have had such an incredible split